1 minutes past 7 a.m. It's a Thursday morning, the 24th day in the month of, and in about a week or thereabouts, we'll be talking about the month of August. I can't believe the year is just rolling along so quickly, but hey, we're thankful. We're here, we're alive, and we are doing well. And you are per headline. Story is freshly pressed. All about the stories, analysis, and your contributions as well. And talking about your contributions today, it's going to be slightly different. We have a slight issue with the WhatsApp platform, so that is off the table at the moment. So what you can do is join the live stream on YouTube. Yes, you can find us at Smooth 981 FM Lagos, Smooth 981 FM Lagos, and leave your comments in the chat section there. That's the next best thing at this point in time. Just endeavor to leave your name attached to the message so I know exactly who is sending that in. Thank you so very much. All right, joining me this morning to take a look at the stories and, of course, the analysis. Break it all down. Mr. C is in the building. Mr. C, good morning to you.
Good morning, Naya. Good morning, neighbors.
All righty. So, a number of things that we need to talk about today. And we shall begin talking about matters concerning electricity and some very disturbing numbers here. Now, this is coming from the Vanguard. The chairman of AA Holdings and chief executive officer of Platform Petroleum Limited, Mr. Austin Avuru, and other energy experts have decried the inaccessibility of electricity to 82 million Nigerians in the country, noting that steps should be taken to make energy more accessible and affordable as well. He said this while presenting a keynote speech at the third edition of Dr. Falube annual lecture series that was held in Ibadan. Now, according to out of about 200 million Nigerians, we still don't know whether we're 200 million, 210, 300, census. Out of 200 million Nigerians, 82 million Nigerians do not have access to electricity at all. But even if they do have access, they would not be able to afford what is charged. So many issues here, but these numbers jumping out at us, Mr. President, these are not very good numbers, especially for a nation that has the intentions of becoming a mega country, a $1 trillion economy country, and so on and so forth. What are your thoughts on this?
Okay, thank you, Aya. So this is truly concerning because let's even take the position that Mr. Ivuru's comments are half correct and not completely correct. They're truly disturbing numbers, truly worrying numbers, it's truly a shocking scenario. Now, we're not strangers to the fact that power supply is still not accessible to all Nigerians. We're not strangers to the fact that even where it is accessible to Nigerians, it's not accessible to time. We're also not strangers to the fact that the amount of power that is generated off grid is at least 2 to 3 times greater than what is provided on grid.
Right.
We're not strangers to the fact that even the cost of accessing the power on grid is prohibitive. Now, if in 2025, let's even say 80 million Nigerians do not have access to power, that is a problem because it speaks to a lack of coordinated effort between governments at the federal level, at the state level, even at the local government level. Now, if 80 million people don't have access to power, are we saying it's just their residences? Are we saying it also includes offices? And when you take a drive around, you will likely hear the hum of a generator, whether it's diesel powered or whether it's petrol powered. And then we're starting to see an increase in the number of solar renewable energy installations. Just drive around, even though the costs have gone up by 40%. Now, even with all of this, we still have aspirations of becoming $1 trillion economy. At least that's what the Minister of Trade, Dr. Jumoke Oduwole, said a few days ago. And she did say in 5 years. And I did say at the time I didn't see it happen. And more episodes continue to unravel, showing why my position may in fact be very correct. How do we address this problem? 82 million people out of 200 million is about 40%. You cannot grow an economy if 40% of your presumed population has no access to power.
There's also the issue of, I mean, apart from accessibility, there's also
Affordability.
the affordability.
No, I'm getting to that. So 40% have no access. What is the percentage of those who cannot afford the power? Then you then see the true picture of what is in front of you. Because easily you could be looking at 60 to 70% of the population that can neither afford, that neither has access to power or can afford the power. So what are the plans to make power more accessible, more affordable? Now, a lot of countries are going the renewable energy route.
Right.
There are parts of Nigeria, especially in the north, especially north central, even in the south, where you see vast expanses of land used.
Mm.
We have large waterways. Why can't we put renewable energy installations on some of these waterways, as it was done in Rwanda and I believe Egypt? Have wind turbines. Yes, there's an argument that they're expensive to run. But the system we currently have, is it cheaper to run? The point is, have different options available to them. And then the civil also did say something. This continued retention of one transmission system does not make sense. It's no longer feasible, it's no longer practical. We've also said this on the show numerous times. Why does a country like Nigeria have a transmission system? Why? There's 6 geographical zones. So a fault, for example, in Jos, the whole country goes off. A fault in Uyo, the whole country goes off. And that should not be the case. You should actually have smaller transmission grids, maybe region by region or even state by state, so that whatever happens in one location doesn't affect the rest of the country.
Right. And you're talking about state by state. We've spoken about this over and over again as to what exactly are all the states doing in terms of generating power.
So some states have started generating power. States like Akwa Ibom, I think Lagos, Lagos too. I think there are like 6 or 7 of them, and some of them have even taken over regulation of the electricity markets. But we still know that a number of them have not started. So this is something government needs to sit down, and the various agencies and ministries. One ministry cannot be saying hallelujah, and then the rest are saying, oh, it's bad, it's dire, we're not sure where we're going. Everybody should be singing from the same hymn book.
Mm.
So $1 trillion economy is not going to happen if 40% of your population has no access to power. It won't happen.
It definitely won't happen. I mean, with those numbers, 82 million, about 40%. And that is, as far as I'm concerned, and these are the official numbers. We don't know what the unofficial numbers actually would be. Deborah, look on YouTube. Let's just get to see what you guys all look like. She's Deborah in VI. Miriam, thank you for that feedback. I hope it's a bit better now. I've made a slight adjustment to. I hope you can hear it a lot clearer now. Just drop another comment if that has actually changed. Thank you for the feedback. All right, let's keep the energy going here, and we're stepping into the This Day newspaper. We're going to be talking about the NNPCL. That seems like second nature these days. The House of Representatives Committee on Petroleum Resources, that's downstream, has resolved to launch a comprehensive investigation into the state of Nigeria's refinery rehabilitation projects. Now, checks revealed that the Port Harcourt refinery, which recently commenced production after a turnaround maintenance which gulped millions of dollars, has ceased production. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, the EFCC, was already probing the disbursement of $1.5 billion allocated to the Port Harcourt refinery, $740 million released for the Kaduna refinery, and $657 million approved for the Warri refinery. However, the committee noted that its decision to probe the Nigerian Petroleum Company Limited was made at a special session following the review of numerous petitions and complaints from the general public. Would this be a duplication of probes, or can these two probes go side by side? I mean, EFCC already on the ball on this one, according to reports. Now, the House Committee wants to start its own probe.
So the two probes can run concurrently. What the House of Representatives intends to do should not deter or impede what the EFCC or any other prosecuting agency is doing. Now, they're right to investigate these matters, and it will be interesting to hear what the official NNPCL account is, because some of the officials involved no longer work with the NNPC. Now, it's clear that monies were voted. It's clear that monies were approved, monies were voted. It is also clear that the findings are not. What is not clear is the explanation for the findings not working. And where do we go from, really and truly? Because we now need to know why the findings are not working. Is it that they can never work? That they've gone past the point of repair? Because we're all witnesses to the fact that at some point or the other, we've had devices. And when we've taken them for repairs, we've been told, don't bother, there's no point repairing this anymore. Just get something else. Ranging from a car to a mobile device to a computer to a TV, you name it. So the question is, the NNPCL officials who were in office when this was going on, who regularly paid site visits to the ongoing maintenance works, who provided status updates, what did they actually see? What did they actually observe? And who signed off on the final payment to the contractors? Because let's remember, the contractors should, in an ideal situation, should not get all the money up front. You work according to milestones.
Yeah.
So when the contractors raised their hands and said, look, guys, we're done, who were the individuals who went to confirm that they were done? Who were the individuals who recommended that they be paid? And now that they're not working, can the what was the agreement reached with the contractors? Is there a clause requiring them to return some of the money if the work turns out to be unsatisfactory? These are all questions the House of Reps Committee should understand, provided they're able to locate the officials who have since left the employment of the NPCL. Because the current guys, if we're going to be honest, will only rely on records that they see in the systems or in the files.
I mean,
they were not there.
Exactly, and who knows how accurate or up to date that those
Exactly
actually are. I was talking about almost $2 billion for
Yeah.
these particular projects, which is a whole lot of money to spend and not get any return at the end of the day. Because, like we said, you put money to repair something, you would know, or you should know, whether or not what you are doing is going to work at the end of the
And the ministers of state, especially the one for petroleum, will have to explain to Nigerians what he was doing. Yes, he will tell you it's an NNPCL project, but you oversee the NNPCL.
It's just mind-boggling at this point, really.
And where is the board of the NNPCL? The board that was in office when all of this was going on. They would have to come and explain to Nigerians.
If you're just tuning in to the show this morning, this is Freshly Pressed on Smooth 98.1. The WhatsApp platform is out of commission at the moment. So if you'd love to share your comments, please, you can do that on YouTube. We're streaming there live as well. So you can find us at Smooth 981 FM Lagos, Smooth 981 FM Lagos. Apologies for if that might be an inconvenience, but we really love to hear from you. Your comments, contributions mean a whole lot. So just leave your comments and your messages in the chat box on YouTube there. I'll take them as we get along. All right. See, let's talk about another story here that has to do with a lot of numbers, huge numbers, dollars, and so on and so forth. So we're walking into the Premium Times, where President Bola Tinubu has requested the approval of the House of Representatives for an additional $347 million external loan under the federal government's 2025-26 borrowing plan. The request was contained in a letter read on the House floor on Wednesday by the Speaker of the House, Abbas Tajuddin. Now, Mr. Tinubu explained that the adjustment became necessary due to an increase in the funding requirement for the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway project, whose cost rose from $700 million to $747 million. That's a $47 million increments. Now, he said the projects under the revised borrowing plan were selected based on rigorous economic evaluations and their projected contribution to national development goals, including job creation, skill development, promotion of entrepreneurship, and poverty reduction as well. Well, loans, and a whole lot more loans. Another loan request has been made here, $347 million on the table. First of all, Mr. You walk us through the sense in all this, and then can we loan our way out of the problems that we're in? Because with the number of loans that have been taken in the last 10, 15 years, in fact, let's even look at this administration specifically, quite a number of loans have been taken out. Can we loan our way out of the quagmire that we found ourselves in economically?
Okay, I'll quickly answer the latter question before I go to the former one. Ideally, and from a logical perspective, you cannot borrow your way out of a problem. You have to work your way out of a problem. That's a logical thing to do. But Nigerian politicians, the Nigerian political elite, continue to defy logic. Now, he's asked for an extra 347 million. We're told that they're for projects which were selected based on rigorous economic evaluations. All of that sounds like the prompt you get or generate from artificial intelligence, but that's by the way. Now, we're being told that the cost of the Lagos-Calabar highway has gone up by $47 million. We're not told what prompted or what influenced that increase. We're not told what the 47 million caters for. And it's truly puzzling, it's truly shocking that you will write a letter asking for that and you will not provide details. Now, for those who don't remember, part of this Lagos-Calabar coastal route was the original alternate route when the Lagos State government circa 2005-2006 started expanding the Lekki-Epe Expressway from 2 lanes to 3 lanes. The explanation at that point in time was, if you don't want to use the expressway which has been expanded, an alternative route will be provided which will not be tolled. And loans were taken for that project. No alternative road was delivered. Circle back a number of years, we're back again. That same road is now part of a larger project. A fresh loan is taken. And with respect to the fresh project, we were told that it is contractor finance. The Minister of Works was very clear in numerous press conferences. There was an EPC plus F, and the F stands for financing, which means the contractor will provide most of the financing, government will provide. And so the same minister did say at these same press briefings that the federal government had paid its bit. The project was 70% complete.
So why is the government taking more loans?
First of all, is there any evidence the contractor has brought his bit? And why is the government taking loans for this project if it's already paid? Now, we don't know why it's 47 million. Could it have been 20? Could it have been 21? Could it have been 45? Could it have been 46.1? Why 47? How did we get to 47? Then the remaining 300 million, because he's asking for an additional 300, he's asking for an additional 347. So if you deduct 47 from 347, you're left with 300 million. Now, what is the 300 million for? Another story in another paper suggests it's from some telecommunications initiative, and that's all that's said. And from the report, The House is now going to work on that. I'm sorry. If I were the Speaker, I would write a letter back. We need more details. That the details here are insufficient to proceed with.
I mean,
If you haven't, accept the Speaker is not listening to the project for the benefit of Nigerians, which is truly sad.
I mean, ideally, that is what should happen.
Yes,
Because anybody can come and say, oh, we need so and so amount. What exactly do you need the money for?
correct.
Because at the end of the day, it's something that affects
No,
the collective people.
a deeper concern with all of these loans have been taken because as in March 2025, Nigeria's debt stock was about 149 trillion. The bigger question still remains, what is the plan for repaying these loans? I'm assuming there's a plan.
And also, what have the previous loans actually been used for that we can tangibly hold on to?
So that is another abiding question because if you look at Nigeria's history from independence, if you look at all the loans that have been taken, presumably for development, you can't connect the sums to what we see on the ground. We simply cannot. So it's a very tough situation we're in. And this won't be the end of the borrowing.
Mm.
Sadly, it will not be the end of the borrowing. So
We shall see how this pans out. This is a message on YouTube. I think it's from Peter. Peter says, Nigeria is a crime scene. And Nigeria is a crime scene. Nigeria is bleeding. And we sit back, we sit and look at the president finish this country. Buhari spent 8 years borrowing with nothing to show today. And this current president has continued. Habib, okay, I hope this is a whole lot better now because this issue with the audio on YouTube, it just stupefies me each and every single time. But I'm as close as I can actually be at this point. I just hope it's a bit better for you on your end. Thank you very much for tuning in. All right, see, let's talk about let's step into the Daily Post and talk about NIGCOMSAT or NIGCOMSAT, whatever it is you want to call it. That is the Nigeria's Communications Satellite Limited. Now, they have lamented the inability of the country to, can't believe I'm saying this, to reach space. The managing director and chief executive officer of NIGCOMSAT, Mrs. Jane Nkechi Egerton Idehedi, cried the situation on Wednesday, insisting that there's no reason Nigeria cannot embark on a space mission. Now, Daily Post reports that NICOMSAT has, over the years, cried out over concerns such as the decade-long recruitment freeze, which has impacted innovation and its operational capacity. Other pressing matters highlighted include a shortage of critical technical personnel, the need for support in the rollout and execution of Project 774, and issues surrounding inadequate remuneration and some other critical factors as well. Mr. C, Nigeria reaching space in the same sentence. I don't know how that works. I don't know how that's even a thing. But hey, I'll let you step
okay,
into this one.
thank you, Amy. So there's nothing wrong with a country aspiring to space. There's nothing wrong with an aspiration. The question then will be, is the aspiration right at all, or is it right at the time in question? And are the resources there? Now, she's expressed a concern. Now, why is Nigeria not thinking about going to space? Now, for me, this is hilarious, really and truly. Of all the issues Nigeria is confronted with on a daily basis at the moment, space is absolutely not on that list. Because space travel is not as simple as it sounds to some people. It's not like buying a vehicle, jumping into it, and moving all over the place. To go to space, you require investment in infrastructure. This investment runs into billions of dollars. You have training. You just don't jump into a shuttle and go to sleep. You're trained for months to get used to no gravity. You need steady power for a complex that will run those things. Nigeria simply is not at that space yet. Not no. It's not happening.
Hmm.
Now, I'm surprised that this is what is one of the things on the mind. We have a security situation in the country. NICOMSAT has two satellites orbiting here. I'm surprised she's not asking for more funding to get more satellites to provide better coverage of the country for the security agencies so they can decisively deal with the threats from non-state actors. Now, this project 774, ostensibly, I believe it refers to having officers and employees in each of the
Local government
local
areas.
governments. Now, is he aware that part of our local governments are run by state actors, non-state
Not state
actors?
actors.
So, what is the plan? So, really and truly, NICOMSAT in an ideal situation is important. But right now, given the challenges we're facing with health, we're facing with education, we're facing with food, it cannot be our preoccupation or ambition to go to space. I'm sorry. It's not a bad idea, but being floated at this time, it's either a distraction or not well thought of. So it's enough for me.
Yeah. Goodness gracious. I shouldn't be laughing, but really, sometimes your laughter is absolutely mirthless. I don't know really, but anyways, Mr. C says it's a no for him. All right, let's quickly run through this last story here. I think we can get through this one in time before we need to wrap it up. A couple of comments on YouTube as well, which I'll take. Fantastic stuff. The Guardian is where we're going back to. The World Food Program, WFP, has announced it will suspend food and nutrition assistance to 1.3 million people in northeast Nigeria by the end of July due to the complete depletion of aid supplies. The agency confirmed on Wednesday that its warehouses in Nigeria ran out of food and nutrition stock earlier this month, with the final round of distributions currently underway. Now, once completed, all life-saving support will cease unless new funding is urgently secured. And Mr. C, on one hand, we talked about 3.5 million children facing severe acute malnutrition. We talked about that yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Now, 1.3 million Nigerians in the Northeast facing food shortages. In an ideal situation, the World Food Program should not even be getting involved in such matters, really and truly. But hey, here we are.
Ayo, this is another episode, another example of why Nigeria is troubled. Ukraine is at war. Ukraine is officially at war. I haven't come across any news item or article suggesting there's a food crisis in Ukraine. I haven't come across it. Supposedly, we're not at war.
Supposedly, okay.
Or officially, we're not at war. Now, Ayo, today's the 24th of July. The end of July is next week, Thursday. It's a week from today.
Mm.
And this is 1.3 million people officially captured. Now, where they are, incidentally, is an area that is plagued by the persistent operations of non-state actors. Now, where these non-state actors then offer these same people food to align with them, allow them to continue their operations, are they likely to say no? Now, the World Food Program has cried out. We can count the number of state governments in the Northeast. Will they respond in time? Will they take monies from the security allocations or the security votes? Will they find money to give this World Food Program so that people don't eat, so that people can eat? So, for this to be happening, given the fact that harvest season is upon us, these people have not been able to go to the farms. They will not be able to go to the farms. So, what is the plan of the government at state levels? What is the plan of the federal government concerning this? Is the Minister of Agriculture aware of this situation? Is the NSA aware of this situation? And I bring in the NSA because there's a security angle to this. If these people cannot eat or cannot find food to eat, would anyone be surprised if they turn to crime or violent crime?
That is a distinct possibility. at this point in time.
When that happens and there's an uptick in violence and criminal activities, would the NSA and the security agencies be surprised? Or would they be taken by surprise or shocked? And this is on the back of conflicting news from other government agencies saying all is well, the economy is great, inflation is coming down, and you can't make these things up. You can only try to spin. I keep saying if your spin doesn't line up with our collective reality, our collective understanding of our existence, you will eternally have a problem. Now, how does this make sense that a country that is aiming in 5 years to be $1 trillion economy is still experiencing this sort of nonsense? I feel for those people. I feel for the 1.3 million people. I feel for the 3.5 million children. For how long will lapses and clear incompetence continue to take preeminence in our affairs?
These are the questions. All right, let me take your comments on YouTube. Peter says, okay, look, I've taken that one already. Stephen says, the refineries will not run, not at full capacity. Dangote put it well. You cannot fix a 60-year-old car and expect it to run like a new one. Emeka says, if Tinubu right now says he needs $1 billion to build a road to the moon, this National Assembly will approve it. The president is just following the precedents set by President Buhari. I mean, he did say he's going to continue from where he stopped. So, not my words, they were his, just, paraphrasing there. Joseph says, Nigerians facing the same sentence according to, I mean, it's true. It's true. I was going to say something else, an analogy, but Arsenal fans would not like it, so I'll keep those thoughts to myself. Miriam says, we have more pressing issues than space. Gilbert Musa in Festac says, on the thought of Nigeria not reaching space, first things first, do we have the basics of life? Like, do we have the basics of life first, like security, food, sufficiency, good roads, and so on? Good question. This one says, Nigeria planning on going to space is a misplaced priority at this time. Chigoze says, can we be serious for once in this country? Nigeria thinking of being in space. I love in FA. Joseph says, I must say we are not ready for space exploration. And as someone that deals with young people that are interested in space travel, Nigeria isn't ready to put in the money to develop that sector. Also, we don't have the wherewithal to undertake that venture at this point in time. Let the government concentrate on attending to the basic needs of the people first. I think that is what is of importance at this moment. Yeah, of priority and importance at this moment. And Miriam says, Yoruba will say, "Na person we don't chop belly food. They find
We're laughing, but we're having a good laugh. If the president does say, look, Nigeria should be in space, do you think the present National Assembly we have will say no?
Well, I mean, same National Assembly that's do not say no to a lot of things. Well, so it wouldn't surprise me if they don't say.
Do you think some Nigerians will not find a way to profit from such a move?
That also is to be expected, really and truly. Anyways, we need to wrap it up and call it a morning. Thank you all so much for joining us this morning and adapting to the dynamic of YouTube. Apologies for the inconvenience, but hey, we always love to hear from you each and every single day. Thank you once again for being good sports about it. Thank you so much, Mr. C, for making it an amazing, freshly pressed this Thursday morning.
Thank you for having me. Let's just finish up the weekend stuff. Sure.
Yes, indeed. All right, we need to get out of here, but of course, the Smooth Breakfast will continue 8:15. It's going to be about the grapevine, entertainment, and so much more. And we have a special guest artist joining us in the studio. Come wait.
Let's do it.